Hi friends, it's Miss Amber. I'm here today to read Hidden Figures Chapter 4. I have my daughter here with me. She's going to listen as well to Chapter 4. She got her little monkey squishy. She had to show everybody. It's her favorite. It's actually very, very squishy. It's pretty cool. So I'm sorry I haven't been online too much this week with the videos because I had dental surgery. I'm finally feeling better enough to read a chapter 4. So hopefully I'll have more chapters posted next week than I did this week. So we're going to start chapter 4. The last chapter was about Dorothy Vaughan, her work experience, and that she applied for the job with the government. So chapter 4, it's called A New Beginning. And again, we're reading Hidden Figures by Margot Lee Shetterly. A New Beginning. In the fall of 1943, Dorothy Vaughan started the school year teaching math at R.R. Moten, the black high school in Farmville, Virginia, just as she had for the past 12 years. She loved being a teacher, and she dedicated herself to helping her students as much as she could while waiting for a response to the job applications she submitted a few months earlier. Dorothy had plenty to keep her busy. The high school had been built for 180 students, but more than 300 now squeezed into the classrooms. She taught algebra in the school's overcrowded auditorium with 2 other classes taking place in the same space. After school, she tutored students who needed more help and spent time working with the school's parent-teacher association. Outside of school, Dorothy was a founding board member of the Farmville chapter of the NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, a civil rights group. What can we do to win the war? World War II was never far from anyone's mind. That fall, the high school's 4-H club made care packages for the departing servicemen and hosted a community discussion titled, "What Can We Do to Win the War?" The school sold war stamps to raise money for the military. The community held going-away parties and feasts for the young men heading off to the front lines of combat. Dorothy updated her classes and added a unit called Wartime Mathematics, where she taught students how to use math to follow a household budget and manage wartime ration books, coupon books that allowed each family only a limited amount of various supplies, such as flour and sugar. Then in November, a letter from the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics finally arrived. You are hereby appointed mathematician, grade P1, with pay at the rate of $2,000 per annum, the letter said. That was more than twice the $850 annual salary she earned as a teacher. When Dorothy thought about the civil service jobs as she had applied for, she had mixed feelings. She was a wife and a mother of 4 children. The job at Langley Laboratory was a full-time position 6 days a week. If she accepted the job, she would have to move 4 hours away from her children, and she'd only be able to come back to see them on holidays. But Dorothy knew this was a very good job, one that would allow her to help her family, so she accepted. She shared the news with her family and friends. Her students were sad to see their teacher, Mrs. Vaughan, leave the school. The townspeople found out about Dorothy's decision when they read a notice in the Farmville section of the Norfolk Journal and Guide. It read, Mrs. D.J. Vaughan, instructor in mathematics at the high school for several years, has accepted a position at Langley Field, Virginia. Dorothy didn't like long goodbyes. I'll be back for Christmas, she told her 4 young children. She was sad to leave them, but she knew that her children would be well cared for at home in Farmville. They lived in a rambling Victorian house with their grandparents, and they were surrounded by dozens of aunts and uncles and cousins. Dorothy's children would miss their mother, but their daily schedules wouldn't change much. For 12 years, Dorothy had walked out her front door and turned left to walk to the school where she worked. But on the morning she left for her new job at the Langley Memorial Aeronautical Laboratory, she turned in the opposite direction and she didn't look back. Leaving home. Dorothy Vaughan rode a Greyhound bus 137 miles from Farmville to Newport News, Virginia. While on the bus, she had plenty of time to think, what would it be like to work with white people? Would she sit side by side with young women like the ones at the State Teachers College? How would she endure the time away from her children and family? Mile after mile, Dorothy watched the gentle hills rising and falling outside her window. She refused to feel any self-doubt. Her country needed her, and she was ready and eager to do her part to support the war effort and her family. And that was the end of chapter 4, so she's off. Dorothy, I got goosebumps a little bit. That's kind of exciting. And this is real history we're reading. Very cool. So here, that was chapter 4 of Hidden Figures by Margot Lee Shetterly. On my next video, I will be reading chapter 5. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful day. Be kind and stay safe. I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.